I haven't bought Mcfarlane figures for a long time. This is probably the first time ever buy so many in one go. I bought this free from Pop Culture, and this one, the Batman, comes from eBay. This video will focus on the medieval Spawn. As I mentioned before, now these days I only buy the Mcfarlane figures, which I think is worthwhile to get, and so I don't really buy a lot of Spawn figures these days. I used to buy almost every single series when it first came out, even though they are in reasonable price, but I don't buy all of them these days, only buy some of them. So these are the ones that I really think is worthwhile to get, because these are the ones that I like. After unboxing, I love it instantly, because this figure is absolutely amazing. Look at the details of this figure. And the look of this figure is amazing as well. For example, you can see all the little kind of scratches on the armor itself. Look at it. Every single area got like really nice details on it. For example, you look at this area, look at it. It got this like patterns on the face. So every single area's patterns, look at these armor details. Look at that. So, and also they have improved on all these spikes, right? They are all made of soft plastic now. So it's still spiky, but at least when I press on it, it doesn't hurt my hand, it doesn't hurt my fingers. So that's pretty good. Look at it, I feel more confident pressing on it, but still, of course, look at it, I still got like a bit of pain out of it, but that's fine, I actually think that's pretty good. Look at this is actually quite soft, which is alright, yeah, so still handled with care, but it's okay, it's actually good. It doesn't really hurt my hand. So they have made a huge improvement on the, the functionality of the figure. The cape, I don't really like the cape. It looks really stupid like that. And this whole thing is red, right? They should paint this silver, but of course, you won't get this on that price if they start painting everything, right? And but a wash would be good. And I'm quite sure for some other people, they will prefer to change that to a cotton cape. And for me, I can make my own cape as well. So I'll probably going to change this, I'm going to pull this off. So it's quite easy to pull off as well, and, use hot water or whatever, or just even pull it off, So I'm just pulling off now. So yeah, it's not an issue. Oh my God, look at these details. Even the back full of details. Look at that. My God, this is only soft plastic, but it looks really good. I don't know how they do all this details on the soft plastic. That's absolutely amazing. Is there any area that doesn't have any details? And I couldn't find any, like every single part's got details on it. Look at that. Absolutely stunning, yeah. And that plastic looks pretty cheap like what I said before. And so is this, the legs, the armor, all this stuff. So it'll be good if we give it a bit of new paint on it, just repaint it. It's pretty good. Repainting on soft plastic is a little bit tricky, because once you really want to hold it, right, you're going to scratch it off. So I'm going to have another video to show you how I probably going to repaint this thing, and I have a special method of painting, on soft plastic. So, and it won't easily chip off. So just something that I'm going to show you. But I'm going to retain the gold. I think the gold looks really, really nice. This gold looks really like those medieval armor gold that I've saw before in real life. That looks really good. And now let's have a look at the articulation. So let's look at the head. Yep, the head can tilt up, down a lot. Up. Can you tilt up a bit more? Yeah, it's not too bad. Still looking straight, but at least most of the time you'll look like that, right? Looking like that, looking at someone like that. Yeah, pretty good. Look at that. Look down really well, but I don't see the point why looking down, for a night. So, yep, and tilt. Yep, that looks really good. That's good. And, well, unfortunately, because of this big two-piece shoulder pad, right? You cannot able to rotate, too much, You can only do 45 degrees. And I did try and push it, and you can almost achieve, well, 90 degrees. So, but because this is soft plastic, so you always push it back. But that is okay. That's at least I'll push it to the absolute maximum. So yeah, pretty good as well. It also has the rotation on the bicep, so that rotate okay. It doesn't really rotate much though. Like I cannot. Oh, you can do it. Oh, okay, you can, which is good. But it's a bit tight. I don't want to break it. Anyway, yep, which is good. Double elbow joint. You see, looks really good. So pretty good for a figure with full of armors. And then the hand as well. you know, a bit heavy for the hammer, so it always fall down like that, but that's okay. You know, yeah, this is on ball joint, you can do whatever you want, you know, yeah. And then you got the mid-torso joint, very important. So it's pretty good for the figure to have mid-torso joint. You know, you can do 360, so it's all ball joint as well. The waist joint, pretty good as well, 360, right? You see, I'm not going to turn 360, but can be done. The only issue is the hip joint, right? I did try to kick the legs up, but it doesn't really do that because of the soft plastic here. It restricts the movement, right? So it doesn't really do much, and it cannot really kick out as well. However, if you ask yourself, right, in reality, for a medieval knight, right, they can really kick up as well. It's really hard for them to kick up, right? So, yep, you can do that, and then you see it kind of bounce back. And also, look at this. I always criticize Mcfarlane for not giving us a swivel thighs, because I try to make it, you know, stand up really nicely. Sometimes I want the legs to, you know, point them that way, but it just cannot do that. So it's really limited. So you cannot really twist the hip joint as well. So I did try, but it doesn't really work. Just slightly. Yeah, very slight. Okay. It got this double knee joint, and it did really well as well. Look at that. That's amazing, right? But that's no point having knee joint if you cannot really do much anyway. You cannot do much on the hip joint, so you cannot really like knee down, bang down. You cannot knee. You see, I cannot do that. So doesn't work that well, and but it's okay. At least I give it to you here, right? Give the articulation to you. And surprisingly, what they did here at the back of the ankle is they have this little kind of recess in it, right? So what happened is you can actually do that. Look at that. I didn't expect that. So they actually improved on this as well. You know, luckily they did not do a you know, strict kind of like armor across, and this is all soft plastic as well. Really good. And so you got a really great kind of like ankle movement, right? Look at that. Even that, they twist it up. They don't actually put it down. So they twist it up so you can do that. So I'm really stunned. But unfortunately, because the hip joint is so limited, you can't do much with it, right? I mean, you cannot utilize this great articulation here, right? I didn't dare to tilt it too much because it seems like it's pretty weak. I don't want to break it. So you can tilt it a little bit, but I prefer not to anyway. It doesn't really do much anyway, since your hip joint cannot move too much. So it doesn't require to tilt, you know, because the posture is limited anyway. So it doesn't really matter. And lastly, toe joint. My God, look at that. This is more than 90 degrees, but again, how do you utilize it? That's the question. So this figure is absolutely amazing. You know, the articulation is still very good. The weakest part is this part because of this, right? You may consider giving a cut if you dare to. Cut it out like that in the middle so it can actually kick up really high. So what I'm going to do is I'll probably give a cut line here or here. Just cut it out so it can actually move up really high for the legs. So I'll do that later. Alright, I'll show you in a separate video, right? After we painting and a bit of modification. And I think it looks really good. And the weapons has lots of details. Look at the sculpting. Absolutely stunning. And got the spawn symbol as well. Looks very nice. Everything looks excellent, you know, the sculpting. But the color aren't very good. And also look at the details of the sword as well. We got a bit of like writing on it, which I don't really understand what it is. And yeah, it looks pretty okay. The silver is a bit lacking. As you can see, it's actually quite plasticky. But look at the gold. The gold is amazing. I really love this gold color. I think that's really well done. You just need a bit of wash on it, and I think that's it. But the silver, I think if you apply a bit of paint on it and a bit of highlighting as well and dry brushing, I think it will look really great. So this figure got a lot of room for improvement, right? If you want to paint it over, or just keep the original paint and put a wash on it and maybe highlighting as well. This is actually a poor painting. So the painting of the figure is really poor, right? But the details are absolutely amazing. So imagine if, you know, Mcfarlane willing to put a little bit more efforts on the painting, this figure turned out to be a really good figure. This figure costs a little bit more than an average Mcfarlane toys, like such as the Batman series, but it is only $5 to $10 more, so I think that's actually quite reasonably priced as well. And this figure is a little bit heavier compared to, you know, an average Spawn figure. So this is actually really solid figure. And let's have a look at the size comparison. So first figure I'm going to compare with is what the Violator. So let's put it in the back, make sure you can stand. So that is the rough size. Let's stand next to it. And that's compared to my favorite Spawn figure, which is the Mortal Kombat Spawn. Come out like 2 years ago. So you can see the medieval Spawn is bigger than him, you know, because he got armor as well. The height is also kind of like 5 millimeters taller than this Spawn. And then let's compare with the Overkilled. Alright, this is actually one of my least favorite figure. It's very expensive as well, you know. But anyway, you know, you have to have him. That's the whole point. So yep, and then I have the other Spawn on the chair, on the specialized chair. Let's put Violator at the back. Yep, alright. So make him stand as well. Alright, so that is the general size comparison. So my favorite figure is no more Mortal Kombat Spawn. It's actually the medieval Spawn. So these look really great, you know. But anyway, all the figures look great except that one. Overkill, I don't like it. And also in terms of size, I don't like this as well. It's quite small compared to the one I had before, right? What is it? The Series 6 or something. I couldn't remember this one. I actually reviewed this one in my YouTube channel before, long time ago. This is much better. I love this one much more, right? I just forgot I actually have the Psycho as well. Let's put the Overkill away and put a Psycho next to it. Jesus, I totally forgot about it. Anyway, oh, okay. Oh my god, they just look great together. Oh, let's compare the size of the Psycho as well. Sorry, I forgot about that. Anyway, look at that. Psycho. In terms of size, the Psycho is really big. You know, Violator is a skinny figure in a way. But Psycho is really big figure. But anyway, look at it. You know, the medieval Spawn looks pretty good in terms of size. So in the conclusion, I must say, look, if you're a Spawn fan and you're not going to get this figure, I'll say you're an idiot. So this is a must get for all the Spawn fan, right? And for the price you're paying for a figure like this, you know, in such a great, you know, detail and articulation, not painting though, I would say, look, you know, this is actually quite cheap for a figure like that. And for my subscribers, they probably knew that I, you know, have stopped reviewing Mcfarlane figures for a long time. And the reason why I reviewed this is because it is so good that I have to tell you I really like it. You know, I just love it so much that I have to make this video. So this is the end of this video. So I hope you like this video. And are you gonna get this figure, right? You must get it. So if you're not gonna get it, please let me know why. Or unless you're not a Spawn fan. But if you're a Spawn fan, you know, are you gonna get it? Or have you got it already? And what do you think of it, right? So this is the end of this video, and I hope you enjoy it, and please like it and comment, and I speak to you next time. Bye for now.